Welcome to my channel, you guys. My name is Elisa Navarrete, and I'm talking today about my focus that's been shifting over time. First I was doing a lot of spiritual growth and going out and trying to find ways of healing, inner, spiritual, all different methods, right? I learned hypnotherapy and was really focused on subconscious programming. And what I'm finding is that as I'm evolving, and I'm sure you're finding that you're evolving too, but I'm moving on to like the next phase, I guess you would say. And that kind of leads me into my next point, which is I'm becoming more and more aware. I'm finding that I'm becoming more aware of things that are wrong, which I think we're seeing plenty of those things across the board. But it kind of really hit me one day when I walked outside my door and I saw these bees that had died, and it was because I had been spraying pesticides. And what I realized was these bees were kind of knocked out of the sky, so to speak. Like they'd just been flying into my patio area up near my front door. And the vapors from the pesticide that I was spraying, which was supposed to be eco-friendly, by the way, killed them. It just killed them. And then I realized not only was I harming them, I was harming the bees, which I love, by the way. I was harming us, because if it's at that level that it's knocking them out, then it's definitely at a level that me and my children are breathing as we're walking in and out of the house. So all I could think is, how much is that impacting our health? And I don't want that anymore. And those are the kinds of things that I'm saying, I'm talking about, where, okay, it's time to make a shift. And I actually turned off that service, the pesticide service, and that's a big deal for me, because I'm afraid of bugs. I do not like bugs whatsoever. I have a really funny story about one time my sister thought she had termites, and we had to catch some to show the pesticide people. Again, they were just these little tiny, like ant-sized bugs, but they flew, and the one that I found was dead. And so I scooped it up on a paper and I was taking it over to my brother-in-law. He was going to put it in a vial. And just as I was handing it to him, I tilted back and it touched my finger, and I lost it. And it was it was not a controllable reaction. And I started flailing and screaming, and he was just like, whoa, and he grabbed my hand so he could get the bug, because we needed that. And I was laughing and crying, and I couldn't even, my reaction shocked me. That's how bad my reaction is to bugs. So for me to turn off the pesticide service, that's a big deal for me. And I still am like, okay, here they come. They're moving in closer. But, I refuse to go back. I refuse to go back. And that's where I'm hoping that if this is a path that you're on as well, that you'll come along for the journey and we can figure it out together. I would love that. I would love to have company on this exploration that I'm on, trying to become more, not just aware and conscious, but working in a way that works with our environment, that works with nature. I've always been an environmentally conscious person, but now I'm becoming more of that tree hugger than I ever was, I guess you could say. I studied permaculture design because all of those things just made sense. It was all about, how do we work with nature? How do we restore the soil so that it can support our plants, so that it can support our health? How do we restore and capture water? How do we hold it on the land longer so that it can refresh the aquifers, refill them, and we can stop having subsidence and flooding and all these problems that we're having, that we've made ourselves from decisions we've made thinking they were good management practices, and it's turning out they weren't. So there's so much more to explore, and I'm trying to bring it in. I know how to do these things on a bigger level, Um, but what I'm trying to do is just do this on my little microscopic level, on my house, my property. And I know there's so many people that feel like they have to go buy their 10 acres or their 40 acres, but you don't have to do that. You can do that right here in your household, and I'm doing that in my household. And I'm experimenting and trying different things, and I hope that if that's something that you enjoy, that you'll come along with me for the ride. Have a great one.